Hello everyone. My name is Strange, and I believe that people should know the truth. After my last video about how the Special Forces recruited Elon Musk, many of you began to email me with questions, demanding details about working for Musk for the U.S. Special Services. Therefore, I have made a decision, and today I will continue to reveal the terrible details of the secret documents of the U.S. Special Forces on the Medium project and the role of Elon Musk in it. For the security of my source, all names and surnames have been changed, and artistic coloring has been added to the document. But what you learn today will shock you, so if you are not ready for this, close the video and continue to live a quiet life. In the dark? And that's how I start. 2002, Washington. Wojciech was sitting in his office. He was filled with strange and promising thoughts at the same time. The first of them is that everything he does not belong to the usual earthly world, but belongs to the cloudy, mysterious, incomprehensible, and deadly world. The second thought was more pleasant. It was he who was up to his ears in all this. It was he who decides the fate of not individual people who are subordinate to him, whom he personally recruited and whose destinies he ordered. He decides the fate of humanity. Well, he's not the only one, of course. For the first two thoughts, a third was involuntarily born. The curator, who the fuck is this? The very thought made me shudder. The curator's power was frightening. The power over him, over the Special Investigations Agent, John Wojciech. Obeying an incomprehensible but definite feeling. Wojciech clacked his teeth like a sheepdog, got up and walked around the office. There was a knock on the door. Wojciech twitched, his heart pounding faster. Holy shit, it won't take long to go crazy. Yes, come in. Wojciech quickly walked over to a table littered with stacks of papers, from behind which a computer monitor could be seen. Allow me to report, Mr. Wojciech. Wojciech rubbed his temples. I'm tired of it. Lieutenant, I've told you many times. Come in after permission and get down to business right away. The barracks won't get out of your head in any way. I'm sorry. A brave red-moustached lieutenant, just like from a picture advertisement a la, joined the ranks of the British commandos. A slight noise appeared in Wojciech's head, which threatened to develop into a migraine attack. No, we need to change people. There was just one special operation planned where Lieutenant Blackberry could reveal his talents. Wojciech stood up, defiantly gave a military salute, and said in an imposing tone, "Report back, Blackberry, and as much as possible on the case." The lieutenant pathetically returned the greeting, putting his palm to his temple. At that moment, Wojciech wanted to get his deserter out of the table and empty the entire clip first at the lieutenant, then at the curator, whoever they were, at the president, and then at himself. Today there are 3 operational reports in one report. The lieutenant came up with a chiseled look and put 3 folders and a sheet with an official seal on the table. Okay, leave it. Don't let anyone in to see me. Is that clear? That's right. Wojciech grimaced. No, I'm definitely going to get a migraine today. At that moment, he clearly imagined how the dashing fellows under the command of the lieutenant were dragging sandbags to the door of his office, installing an easel machine gun, providing security so that no one would enter. This thought amused to the point. First, 3 operational reports. It is necessary to give an analytical conclusion on them and send it above. Wojciech understood that there was someone above him too, but the channel of communication and transmission of information was classified. And who is above them? Tutor? Wojciech shook his head. They should have hollowed out that grotto on the Alaskan ridge. They got hemorrhoids for themselves. Damn it. Wojciech took out his perpetually half-smoked cigar and lit it. So, 3 operational summaries in one report. Let's start with the summaries. Wojciech took the first folder and opened it. From the first lines, he picked himself up. The blood rushed to his head. Operational Summary No. 13.907.2002. Secret. For a limited number of persons with a special permit, a group of agents, Special Operations Forces, Beta Unit in Russia, reached the point at 03.00. Equipment and special equipment were delivered to the point by an auxiliary unit from the location, Irkutsk. The last satellite communications session with the commander was at 05.32. Then the group stopped communicating. The study of the object in the area of Lake Baikal, Russia, was not carried out. Presumably the group was destroyed by military units of a potential enemy. From preliminary conclusions, the object has been detected. observed and investigated by the forces of a potential enemy. The mode of research, the probability of contact, and obtaining information are unknown. Bickel is covered, but there was a prospect. Recently, many politicians have noted that these goddamned communists have learned how to work. The year 2002 is in the yard. The days of the idiot Mr. Gorby and Yeltsin are over. Wojciech sighed. He knew these Russians who would rather shit themselves in their pants than retreat. I saw enough of their volunteers in the 90s in Yugoslavia. Wojciech skimmed through the folder, satellite photos, and an analytical explanation. The latter was interesting. Information received by agents in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Presumably the object carried the scientific research function of the Earth's ionosphere. The second folder was heavier. Wojciech opened it. Regardless of his own desire, the agent's eyebrows went up. Summary of data for October 2002, Washington, D.C. The folder contained gibberish, consisting of the testimony of drunks and housewives who told in detail how they copulated with the green men, traveled on their ships. Then they started inserting an elastic probe into my vagina and anus. Shelley Whippet, housewife, 56 years old. The old whore. Well, that's the kind of thing. One even demanded to take his mother-in-law for experiments, saying she was from a distant planet of the constellation Cygnus. Holy shit, this is all handled by the External Surveillance Department. They probably take information from the Oprah Winfrey Show or God knows what garbage dump. Wojciech put down the folder and shouted towards the closed door. "Blackberry, come in. Today we need to give the command to fix the fucking phone. We use such things, but we have to yell." Blackberry came in almost immediately. "No, was he definitely standing at the door and guarding? You weren't. Have you been called?" "No, I was just yelling like that. Today, right now, contact the head of the External Surveillance Department. Let him leave a deputy for himself and come straight here. Tell him that I need an explanation of their operational summary. Don't say anything else." "Understood, Chief." Wojciech looked at the lieutenant in surprise. Something new? Did the moron soldier understand how to communicate with his superiors? "Let's see what the head of the IOD, Department of External Observations, says." Through no gate. Okay, this will still need to be studied. Surprisingly, it was the IOD department that was assigned to brief new agents. A kind of Mr. or Miss Smith comes, and they immediately have a folder of documents. Read, be instructed. How many times have I told them to create a detailed educational film, back it up with documents, and eventually send new people to me? No, it all starts with papers on which large pixel photographs from the Second World War, and inert documents, and a summary of the plots from the Issy Stones. Fucking rocks and rocks on which Indians with yalds, like a machine gun, fuck dinosaurs, ride them, and also fuck with some aliens. Having seen such a stone firsthand, Wojciech realized even then that modern Indians in Peru realize that they loved rich gringos and their white bitches, and began to stamp these stones for souvenirs. Maybe there was something, but now the trail is hidden. One scientist in Russia is digging all this, well, let him dig. An eccentric poor man with an unshaven head. The third operational summary. Information from the interrogation of Sergeant Instructor 2nd Class Audrey Akapour, who was hypnotically, telepathically influenced by a biocomputer, hereinafter referred to as the curator. Wow, was she born in Delhi? Wojciech was surprised. At its core, the former captain, and now a special service agent, was a terrible racist, which he skillfully hid. Are Hindus taken to such positions and awarded titles? However, like any citizens of our great and mother of their colored states, everyone is given a chance. Information about the content of the contact has been analyzed. Currently, the test subject, it must be already a test subject, that have also picked up such a word, is being kept under observation. It demonstrates a state of deep trance, from which it is periodically withdrawn through pain shock, electrical stimulation of brain regions. Upon withdrawal from trance, it becomes possible to take readings, which are interspersed with delirium at the moment of transition from wakefulness to trance. A brief analytical conclusion before the main conclusion. Audrey Akapour, hereinafter referred to as the test subject, retained the ability to maintain contact with an alien entity, hereinafter referred to as the curator. The contact is one-sided. The summary is accompanied by illustrations made by the test subject at the moment of maintaining clarity of mind. Wojciech looked through a couple of illustrations, turned the sheets this way and that, On one, a crowd of people, thousands of people, merging together in places, were walking along a cliff and heading straight into the sky towards the sun. Distorted faces, bulging eyes, mouths agape and scream in horror. The second illustration schematically depicted a pile of squares, cubes, and rectangles forming a lattice structure. A cluttered image, in the center of which is written, "He will come to revive." That's all. Let them deal with this further. It will be necessary to give this summary to the development. Let them prepare a detailed report and conduct this case throughout. Wojciech took out a notebook and carefully wrote down the letters on a line sheet. Audrey Afgater crossed out, painted over, and wrote again, "Test subject, medium, connection with the curator." Wojciech lit another cigarette and got up from the table. He went to the window. There was a thunderstorm on the horizon. Huge, dark clouds. Sometimes echoes of lightning flashed by. Wojciech massaged his temple. The weather is changing, so my head is buzzing. At this time, young moms run out into the backyards of their two-story boxes. They get their children and carry them into the house from scattered toys to safety. Some truckers curse their luck and try to get to the motel as quickly as possible before the downpour hits. Some couple is fucking in the back seat of a station wagon. And all these people don't know what's going on in the world. What's next to them right now? Next to them, and with him, with Wojciech. Sometimes a thought appeared in his head, which became more and more intrusive over time. He and all mankind, hooks, communists, Chinese, Negroes, all are in a glass jar and they are being watched. Sometimes someone is taken out, stretched, stupefied with fear, on a table, and methodically cut off the arms and legs like an ant, and sometimes the jar is turned upside down. But he, Wojciech, will get out of this damn jar, figure out the secret, break everyone's horns, like those fucking Serbs in Sarajevo. Who is holding the jar in their hands? The curator. Wojciech pressed his forehead against the cold glass of the window, enjoyed the coolness, and returned to the table. Report. Reliable data has been obtained from operational information that the intelligence forces of a potential enemy, Russia, came into contact with the person 1.01. Elon Musk. Contact was provided through Anne Polyakovich, prostitute, currently being worked out. The contact was established for the purpose of espionage, transfer of top-secret data. Presumably, the pressure on the 1.01 person was exerted through threats to the family, blackmail. Yes, since the early 2000s, the fucking Russian commies have definitely learned how to work. Wojciech read the report to the end, took out a sheet of blank paper. To remove the external threat from the 1.01 person, to give guarantees about the protection of the family, re-instruct and verify loyalty. Perhaps the person 1.01 did not understand the essence of the enemy's intelligence game. Figure out. If voluntary contact is confirmed, take action. Send the analytical conclusion to the contact department for help. The Department of Contacts was called the biocomputer, which was discovered in an underground grotto of the Alaska Range. After Audrey Afgater, the biocomputer still managed to be connected to an analog device, which was then connected to a powerful personal computer. The information from the biocomputer came in an ocean of terabytes. Everything was read and analyzed. The biocomputer itself could read the entered information and make recommendations. It is not known how, but it was the biocomputer that gave the tip to Elon Musk. 2 days later, the biocomputer gave recommendations on Elon Musk. Wojciech read the interpreted information originally obtained by binary code. A trickle of sweat ran down my back, and I felt suffocated. The phrase was printed on a piece of paper: "Give us his child, kill his child, give him to us." Wojciech pulled back his tie and unbuttoned his shirt. Tudor, 2002, Washington. The sentence was carried out. The subject is Nevada Musk, age 12 weeks. Justine Musk's mother's breasts were treated with nanopoison during a SPA visit. Lower-level performers, SPA owner, massage therapist, have been eliminated. Order to John Wojciech. As soon as possible, re-instruct the 1.01 Elon Musk personnel, put pressure, and persuade them to total loyalty, and give an explanation on the incident with Nevada Musk. If refused, liquidate it. The Open Sky project should be frozen in case of liquidation of personnel 1.01, while maintaining all capacities in full readiness until the next candidate is selected by the curator. Today we have revealed to you only a part of the information about the aliens, There is much more data about their activities on Earth. On our channel, we will reveal all the secrets and evidence of their presence. Subscribe to the channel and send me your stories related to aliens by email. You will find contacts in the About the Channel section. Together, we will force the authorities of all countries to disclose all the information they have. After all, people should know the truth.